Well, well, well. Well, well, well. What can I say on this one, really? Oh, YB, oh, YB, why are you clickbaiting for? Oh, YB, YB. All these goofy ass dudes. 1 month ago, more or less to the day. In fact, I think it was November 18th or November 15th, the YB posted up a video which said the following. In fact, you'll see a snapshot on your screen now. Anyone is welcome to go back and check that news from 1 month ago, 30 days ago. Yeah? Ben Davidson sacked. Tyson Fury sacks Ben Davidson. That's what we do know, categorically. Yeah? That's what the YB posted up 30 days ago. People were saying, oh, YB, YB, find something better to do. Oh, YB, you haven't got any sources. Oh, YB, you've only got HP sources. All I know is Sky News report today. Oh yes, Tyson Fury has left Ben Davidson. Oh, we bring you exclusive first hand. No, it's not exclusive first hand news. The YB had this news 30 days ago. Now what? Yeah, now what? Oh, YB, you haven't got any sources. Your only source is HP. What we do know is anyone who tuned into the YB 30 days ago already knew this. Already knew it. Yeah? Ben Davidson was on his last legs. It wasn't rocket science. Not only did YB have people within Tyson Fury's camp confirm this 30 days ago, it really wasn't rocket science. Seeing Ben Davidson on his own. When was the last time? In the last 2 years, how many times have you seen Ben Davidson not with Fury? I can't remember one time. They've always been with each other, living together, because what do we know? One thing I can kind of credit to Fury over these last 2 or 3 years, he has consistently been training. You know what I mean? So you've got to ask yourself, wait a minute, he's consistently been training, now all of a sudden he's not training. Do you know what I mean? Of course he was still training. Ben Davidson wasn't in the picture. Simple as that. Think about it. The last 2 years, day in, day out, you've seen Fury and Ben Davidson together. Or Ben Davidson came out and said, oh, yeah, he's taking a bit of a break at the moment. Yeah, you're getting sacked. And I do feel a bit sorry for Ben Davidson because this was his only one chance. Ben Davidson historically is not known as a great trainer. He trained some, I'm not sure, he trained some random dude. He went life and death with someone. Then he trained Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders went life and death with someone. To be fair to Ben Davidson, it's not all his fault because Billy Joe's lazy and he only had Billy Joe for 1 week, but still, it's not a good look. However, some people I guess will say that Ben Davidson's a great coach because he went life and he took Fury to go in life and death with Wilder and all this kind of business. All I know is he was on his back twice and nearly got stopped. And to be honest with you, from Ben Davidson's point of view, apart from the money he would have got from Fury, it's going to be good that Ben Davidson's not with Fury now, because when Fury gets knocked spark out in February, at least he doesn't have to have that kind of loss on his record. Because put it this way, if Fury had got, or when Fury does get sparked out in February, and if Ben Davidson was on the card, everyone will be saying, oh, yeah, if Peter Fury had been with him, he would have schooled Wilder, and Ben Davidson's the one that got him knocked out. Do you know what I mean? So in that respect, this, even though his career prospects don't look great, given that, wasn't Billy Joe Saunders meant to be training with Ben Davidson? I'm pretty sure that was the case. I'm sure Fury was with Ben Davidson, and then Billy Joe joined, and then there was something like, oh, well, Ben Davidson's in the US, so I can't go there, so I'm going to go back to Dom. Messy, man, messy. Not a good look. Ben Davidson's almost like the taxi coach. Everyone kind of just comes there for a 1 week stop and then moves on. Anyway, let's start at the start of this topic. Ben Davidson came out and posted up a tweet saying the following. He said, the rumours won't stop until I put an answer to it, so I want to let you know now that me and Tyson Fury will no longer be working together. However, we will still remain friends. There you go then. He's confirmed it. I feel a bit guilty for him. As I said, he looks like a bit like a lost sheep in that sense. If you've seen any interviews from Ben Davidson over the last month or so, he has looked sad. It's been pretty obvious. He's tried to make out he's not sad. He said things like, oh yeah, it's lovely seeing Tyson Fury so happy now with his kids, and it's almost like that. It reminds me of that guy who gets dumped by his wife, and he says stuff like, oh yeah, it's great to see my ex-wife doing well. Yeah, you're thinking to yourself, Yeah, it's great to see my ex-wife shagging the pool man. It's great to see my ex-wife shagging the gardener. You know what I mean? It's like, no one can be that. You can never be that grateful. Ben Davidson knew the writing was on the wall. Oh yeah, it's great to see Tyson Fury happy. Don't lie, Ben. Now, don't get me wrong. For the cameras, you're gonna say it's great to see him happy, but in your heart of hearts, you're thinking, you tosser. Yeah, and I can't blame him in that respect because Tyson Fury did, and that's the problem. You see, when Tyson Fury left Peter Fury, Ben Davidson didn't say anything because it was benefiting him, but once someone abandons someone, they'll always do it again. If you cheat once, you'll cheat again. So Tyson Fury cheated on Peter Fury, and now he's done the same to Ben Davidson, and that's always what happens. So I feel, part of me feels sorry for Ben Davidson because Fury was saying, "Oh, I wouldn't have been here. I never would have been able to recover without Ben Davidson. Oh, I needed this man to get me to where he got me to. Oh, I can't live without this man. This man makes training fun, etc., etc." What happened to all that? Went flying out the window when you went life and death with Otto Wallin. Went 50-50 with Otto Wallin. And to be honest, in a minute I'm going to tell you what's really going on here, but I've got to say, what's happened in Tyson Fury's career is actually nothing to do with Ben Davidson, as it happens. He's actually, no one can, once someone's shot, someone is shot, yeah? There ain't no in between, there ain't no, oh, maybe a trainer can make a difference. There is no that, yeah? A trainer can't roll back the hands of time. Simple as that. Anyway, before we go into, or before the YB now exposes what's really going on, I want to say this, listen. In the future, wherever Tyson Fury goes, this is the problem essentially. In fact, let's get into it now. This is the problem of Tyson Fury, and it's not only Fury. You'll notice this with other people as well, like Mike Tyson, for example. Mike Tyson, in his prime of his career, he had one or two trainers, Customato, Kevin Rooney, and Teddy Atlas. In reality, they was one unit. Yeah, he had one team, one coaching team. Atlas, Rooney, and Customato. That was his one team, and he was in his prime with that team. Now, draw a parallel between Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's team was Peter Fury. And maybe a bit of influence from his dad, maybe. To be honest, his dad was in jail, I believe, so it was mainly Peter Fury. That was his unit. We saw Tyson Fury at his best under Peter Fury, factually. Now what do we know? Look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson left Kevin Rooney, and ever since then, he's never been the same since. Has he? Let's be real now. Yeah, he won some fights, but he's an athletic phenomenon, so he was always going to win some fights. But in terms of his prime, he was never there again. And look at his actions. He spent the rest of his career, ever since he left Kevin Rooney, he spent the next 15 years searching for the answer. Moving, bouncing from trainer to trainer, looking for the answer. Well, in reality, the answer was, you're finished. And that's what we're seeing with Tyson Fury now. What you'll notice is, he left Peter Fury, he went on a binge, took 4 years out of the sport. You can't take 4 years out of the sport. Comes back, and ever since, he's been looking for the answer. Looking externally for the answer, rather than looking inside himself and saying, you know what, I've probably had my best days. They go looking for the answer. Oh, Ben Davidson, oh yeah, he's made training fun. Let's get it right. Tyson Fury hasn't been neutral these last 2 years, or these last 3 years. He hasn't been saying, yeah, training's going alright. He's been saying, oh, I'm the best ever. And let's get it right. He hasn't, some people can say, yeah, I'm in the best shape ever, but you don't really believe it. Tyson Fury genuinely believes what he's saying, in as much as when he comes out and tells you, I'm having so much fun in training, I've never felt this good before. He actually does believe that, to be fair to him. He does believe that. He genuinely believes it. The problem is, your mind can only go so far. When your body is genetically shot, yeah? The genetic code, the DNA, the RNA that exists within Tyson Fury's cells is shot. It's finished. No, there's no amount of psychological happiness that's going to change that. And that's why, despite being as psychologically happy and as prepared as Ben Davidson got him, he got in there with Otto Wallin and went life and death. This is a ticking clock. Look at James DeGale as an example. James DeGale, he had the same trainer. So James DeGale is the perfect example of someone being shot because there was no changing factors. Tyson Fury can kind of sit back and say, oh, well, it's because I changed trainers. That's what's changed. No. Look at James DeGale. James DeGale never changed trainers. So he's got a consistent bed. He's got a consistent career where you can sit there and look, what's changed here? It wasn't the trainer that changed, was it, with James DeGale? No. It was being shot that changed. That's what do they call it? That's the variable here. The only variable in James DeGale and Tyson Fury's career is the cellular level shotness. That's what's going on here, and I feel sorry for Fury. He's not the only one though. As I mentioned, Mike Tyson did similar things. People go searching for the answer. Oh, he hasn't got the answer, but this guy will. Everyone's looking for that secret source, when in reality, if they took a step back and looked within themselves, they'd realise the answer's always within yourself. In this particular example, or in this particular situation, you are shot, Fury. You are finished. The YB's already showed it to you. No man who's in their in their athletic or genetic prime will jump off a meter board and their knees just buckle. You're meant to be an athlete, man. Guarantee this. You put AJ on a 2 meter board and tell him to jump off. His knees aren't going to buckle because he's an athlete. Yeah, he's going to have a spring and he's going to land. Tyson Fury nearly fell over. Yeah, his knees buckled. His knees are stiff. His knees are like, what do they call it? His knees are crystalline. They're crystallizing. When people talk about arthritis, there's a lot of. I'm trying to think what it is. It's like salty. Yeah, Tyson Fury's his joints are crystallizing. They're turning into rock. Let's look at his legs now. There's a reason. Tyson Fury was known to have some of the best foot movement. Was he not? Where was the foot movement in Otto Wallin fight? His knees are stiff. Couldn't move them, in fact. Never mind nothing else, he could not move his feet. They're rock solid. Look at James DeGale as well. I hate to say it, people. I really do hate to say it. Similar to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson wasn't known as someone who's very frilly, but the equivalent for Mike Tyson would be, look at where was the head movement in Mike Tyson's career towards the end? Nowhere. Where was all of the other things he used to do? Where was the explosive foot movement? Nowhere. Yeah? Etc, etc. It's different. Fury and Mike Tyson are completely different animals, but the parallels are the same. What they're good at, that's when you become a shot fighter. All the things that made you great, they go the opposite way. Fury, standing there, going life and death with Wallin. Fury never had power in the best of his day, but still. Wallin was sitting there, Wallin after the fight said, I couldn't feel none of the shots he was throwing. And Wallin's a top 100 fighter. You should be knocking top 100 fighters spark out. You should be sending top 100 fighters to their maker. Fury was standing there, going life and death, toe to toe, wah, 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 probably giving it his all. And another example of Fury being shot. I've got another video coming soon, but many of you may have seen it. Tyson Fury's doing some body sparring with his 175-pound brother. Tyson Fury is 100 pounds heavier than his brother Tommy Fury. And God knows how much taller. He was going life and death with his little brother. His 100-pound smaller brother going life and death with him in body sparring. Literally, having to load up towards the end. He got backed up. Tommy Fury backed him up, pushed him back. Do you understand that? Put AJ in there with Buatsi, see who goes backwards. That's an example. I'm not being funny as well. Buatsi's leagues above Tommy Fury. So with that in mind, these are just examples of things that should never happen. You should never win in there with a 175-pound man in body sparring. Tyson Fury should never take a back step. He's getting pushed back by his little brother. Do you understand that? That there is a shot man. He's got no power. He's got no finesse anymore. He's gone. And I really hope people around him sit him down and say, Fury. And to be fair, his dad did say similar thing. His dad said, listen, if you go in there like with Wilder, you're getting knocked out. And I hope he realised that it's not about trainers. Where John Fury's gone wrong is the fact that he pointed all the blame at Ben Davidson. Yeah, oh, it's Ben. At the end of the day, yeah, Tyson Fury now is a 30-year-old man. He's been in the sport for 25 years, meaning that in 2016 or 17 or whenever it was, when Tyson Fury got to Ben Davidson, he even said it himself. Ben can't teach me nothing about boxing. So you got to ask yourself the question now. All right then, if Ben can't teach you nothing about boxing, which is true, I don't believe he could. Why is everyone blaming the trainer for? You know everything anyway, which once again goes down to the bottom line. The issue here wasn't the trainer. The issue here is your body's giving out on you. Yeah, it's like old people or cancer patients. They say, or maybe not so much cancer patients, but old people. Old people will tell you, I feel 20 years old. Yeah, and that's what Fury is experiencing now. Look at Ortiz, 90-year-old man. He feels 30. Yeah, Tyson Fury, he feels 30. That's all well and good, but your body will forsake you. That's what we're observing here. Tyson Fury's body, much like Luis Ortiz's body, is forsaking him. And he knows it. Like I keep saying, training ain't going to make a scrap of difference here. You're barking at the wrong tree. Ben Davidson didn't teach you, couldn't have taught you nothing anyway. So what's the problem then? It can't be Ben Davidson. Oh, but John Fury. Oh well, John Fury. Oh, he shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be doing that. Oh, it's the weight. He should have come in heavier. And that's another thing you'll notice. Yeah. Oh, it's because he came. John Fury started saying, it's the training. Oh, he's training like a small fighter. Oh, he needs to be heavier. Listen, Tyson Fury in his career has been heavier and he's been lighter, meaning that before it was never a problem. 5 years ago when Tyson Fury came in heavier or lighter, that wasn't a problem then. Why is it a problem now? And that's the point I'm getting to. People they're barking at the wrong tree here. It's not the weight fluctuations. Tyson Fury has always fluctuated in weight. In fact, he was 246 pounds against Vlad, and that was his best fight. Meaning that if you can come in 246, Fury weren't 246 against Wallin, was he? As an example, I think he was 255, 10 pounds heavier. Meaning that he wasn't even near his career lightest. So how can it be the weight? And that's what I'm saying. So people around Fury need to sit him down and say to him, Fury, Tyson, you're finished. Yeah, the YB has broken it down for you. And if he wasn't finished yet, I wouldn't come on here and say that. If there was other explanations for it, as an example, I can promise you this now. Yeah, if AJ ever goes life and death with Otto Wallin, I'll come on here now and say, you know what, guys, someone needs to sit AJ down because this ain't right. When you're that type of, when you're that caliber of fighter, yeah, and you're getting your eyes split and you're going toe to toe. If I see AJ going toe to toe with Otto Wallin and his shots are bouncing off, and he ain't hurting him, and Otto Wallin comes out after the fight and says I couldn't feel the punches, I'm saying to AJ, you know what, boss man, I love you, but it's best that you leave it now because at the top level you're gonna get hurt. You Fury fans, though, you seem to be full of, I don't know what you're observing here. Do you understand what just happened there? Oh, people sit there and slag AJ off for getting beat by Ruiz. Number one, when Fury was in there against Wallin, there weren't no concussion. There weren't none of that stuff going on. If there was some extenuating circumstance, that would be fair play. I'd say, you know what, let's talk about it. And there weren't none of that. No one's talking about no one's talking about no extenuating circumstance. So now you got to ask yourself, what was going on? Oh, well, he got cut. The cut don't explain why he was going toe to toe for. The cut doesn't turn your legs off, does it? In fact, a cut should really, as an example, look at Josh Taylor. What happened when Josh Taylor's eye got closed? Did he start standing there more? Absolutely not. In the last 12 round, when his eye got really closed, he started using his feet. And that's my point. Tyson Fury, who's known, even more so than Josh Taylor, to be a man who uses his feet. Why didn't Tyson Fury use his feet in the Otto Wallin fight? Please explain that to me. When you know you've got a cut to protect, Mr. GetOnYourBike.com suddenly can't get on his bike, even though he knows he needs to protect his cut. Why is that? Shot. And this stuff isn't rocket science, it's basic logic, but Fury fans seem hell bent on trying to fight, trying to protect something that's not there. Your man's finished. And I'm telling you now, if he gets in there with anyone dangerous, you're gonna get him hurt. And it's too late then. Oh, YB, oh, you should have said more, YB. Oh, YB, how come you didn't say nothing? Oh, YB, you should have gone to Fury and told him he was shot. Oh, YB, Fury's not moving. YB, please, YB. Oh my gosh. Listen, the bottom line is, once Fury gets hurt, you man will come on my page and you'll say, oh, YB, you should have done more. You should have gone to Fury's camp and turned up there and told him this, that, the other. Oh, it's too late then. It's too late. I'm telling you, you got to remember as well, not only is he half physically shot, in his mind of minds, he knows it. And that's the point here. Yeah? He comes across as confident and brash, but let's break it down now. Let me tell you how he knows. Not only does he know that he's shot because YB's told him, also he feels it within himself to an extent. Because as an example, the whole putting the Wilder rematch off. Yeah, he could have. The WBC mandated the rematch at the start of February. No, they mandated a rematch in February 2019 for May 2019. That's what the WBC did. Yeah. Wilder versus Fury 2 in May. That's what was mandated on the paper. What happened then? Oh, yeah, well, no, you know what? Oh, Wilder caught me off guard. I need to have some warm-up fights. I thought, what the fuck? That there isn't a man who's... You said you boxed his head off the first time. If you genuinely thought you won, if you genuinely thought you were the better man that night, why not go in there and get the get back right away? What do you mean you need a warm-up fight? I thought you won the fight. If you was that confident you won the fight, you'd go straight back in. As an example, AJ... who got beat by Ruiz, he was that confident it was a mistake, he got straight back in. No messing about. Fury, on the other hand, who had a closer fight than AJ did, so therefore should have been more confident, he's all of a sudden talking about needing warm-up fights. Do you see the difference in the mentality there? Fury can't. That's one example of Fury already knowing something's not right in my body. I'm not feeling right. Because you can bet your bottom dollar, Fury of yesteryear, he would have been straight back in there, in my opinion. Well, who even knows, actually, because he didn't want to fight Vlad again, did he? So I'm not even sure on that one. But Fury, back in 2012, 2013, when he was chasing David Big Toe around the place, that Fury would have got straight back in there, in my opinion. We saw it as an example, perfect examples, when he fought against, what's that small guy that bashed him up the first time? Oh, I forgot the guy's name, but either way, Fury had a close fight the first time and came straight back and fought him again. That there goes to show you the mentality, that early, fresh, not shot mentality. Got beat up, went straight back in with him. John McDermott, that's it, as an example. Where was that John McDermott? Where was that youthful mentality? You know what? Close fight, let's run it back then. Oh, no, I need some warm-up fights. Not a good look. The next thing that kind of tells you that Fury knows himself something ain't right here. Of course, the whole leaving trainer business. If you think you won against Wilder, if you think everything's alright, what do you need to change trainers for? That there himself, that tells you that, as I mentioned about Mike Tyson, when people start changing trainers, that's the ultimate, that's a big tell there that, you know what, something's not right. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to be a very introspective individual to sit there and actually be realistic. Many people always like to find a scapegoat. Rather than sit there and be honest with themselves, you know what, I may be past my best. You know what, I might be shot. You know what, it might be time to hang my gloves up. I'm not feeling like I used to feel. Instead of doing that, they start, oh, no, it's not me, it's him. Oh, it's not me, it's the training I've been doing. Listen, the training you've been doing, like I said, Ben Davidson weren't teaching you nothing anyway. The training that you've been doing, you know how to train yourself by now. 20 years, 25 years into the sport. That doesn't take a rocket science to work out. And how Ben Davidson, Tyson Fury used to do it, they was very interactive. Ben Davidson would talk about how he'd train Fury on a dynamic basis, i.e. via communication. How do you feel today? Etc, etc. Not just the old school, I don't care how you feel, get to it. Which tells me, what more in training is Fury looking for? I've got another video coming soon of Fury reacting to this split with Ben Davidson, and basically Fury's implied, he put out a tweet saying, I've left Ben Davidson, I'm going to go back to the Kronk, I'm going to go back to the old days and get my old team together. There you go. There's another example of trying to be like, it's like being nostalgic about your old career. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go back and get the glory gate. I'm going to go back and get the old team together. I'm going to go back and find them glory days. See what I mean? That there shows you he's trying to find he's trying to go back to the past. He's trying to find what was. When once again, it wasn't the training team before that made you who you were. It was your genetic code and not being shot. Yeah, that youthfulness, that freshness. That's what made you who you was. It wasn't the training team. Yes, of course, they add a little bit, but a training team will not make the difference between a shot fighter and not a shot fighter. Take James DeGale. Put James DeGale in there with the best trainer in the world. Or change James DeGale's trainer. Won't make a scrap of difference. Now, another thing as well, just quickly on the changing trainer point. Don't get me wrong. Not changing trainer every time doesn't mean you're necessarily shot, but as an example, Lennox Lewis, he had quite a few trainers, but the reason why you're changing trainers is important. If you change trainers, because you feel like you've come to the end of the line and you're looking to add new skills and whatnot, that's one reason. That's one reason that Lennox Lewis used. Now, when you're changing trainer because you're looking to go back to, you're trying to find something. You're not looking to add and move and improve. Fury ain't leaving Ben Davidson because he wants to improve. He's leaving Ben Davidson because he's trying to find something that is not within himself anymore, in my opinion. Anyway, the last thing I'll say is this. The last bit of evidence that tells me Fury kind of knows his shot is the whole WWE business. He's kind of got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We haven't, bearing in mind the Fury fight's meant to be happening in 8 weeks, isn't it? Fury versus Wilder 2. We haven't heard squat about that. Now, to be fair to them lot, they do normally play it quite late. But that's meant to be a big pay-per-view, so I'm thinking, what's taking that so long? But either way, maybe it will come through, maybe it won't, maybe it will be delayed. But this whole, I'm going to go WWE, Fury himself, don't take my word for it, Fury himself has said, I might not fight anymore, I've only got 3 fights left. That there isn't the voice of a man who knows he's fresh, who knows, do you know what I mean? As an example, AJ, even after AJ's loss, in them 6 months between June and December, AJ was saying, F the loss, I don't care about the loss, even if I lose again, I'm staying in this game. That there shows you a man who can lose twice and still be on it. There's a man who's not only psychologically on it, but physiologically he's feeling in his prime. He's feeling well. Conversely, look at Fury. Fury hasn't even come off a loss in that sense. He's coming off of wins. Yes, they were tough wins, but he's coming off of tough wins essentially, which tells me if AJ can come off a massive shock loss and still say he wants to be going for 10 years, compared to Fury, who hasn't even lost yet, talking about retiring. Why do you think that is? Because he's not feeling that youthful, that hopeful, that youthful, and it's not about being depressed. It's about his boxing physiology, his physiology within boxing. Every sports person knows how they used to feel or how they feel currently and how they felt in the past. When a divergence starts to break out, where you start thinking, you know what, things that I could do before, I can't do so much now. When my feet, shots that I could slip before, I'm not slipping anymore. Yeah? Things I could see coming before, like Roy Jones, for example. He's actually a person who didn't have that introspectiveness at all. He should have, and Burnett and Hopkins, they should have been out of the sport 20 years ago. They didn't have that. But Tyson Fury, he does have a level of introspectiveness, because he's clocked on someone at him right here, and he's trying to find exit opportunities. He's trying to explain it by changing trainers or whatever. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. If he gets in there and he schools Wilder, I'll put my hands in the air and say, you know what, I've talked rubbish. But this whole leaving Ben Davidson situation, it don't look good for me. This reminds me, it's a typical thing people do when they're trying to find a answer for questions they've got. And it confirms all the things I've been talking about him being shot.